From legendary Soldier Field in Chicago, it's the National Football League on CBS. Week 11, the Colts and the Bears. They're the hottest offense in the NFL, led by the hottest player. And now the Indianapolis Colts defense is starting to step up. But today, they'll face the latest reincarnation of the monsters of the Midway. The Bears have been winning ugly, and that's the way they like it. Colts and Bears, oh my, next. Just a perfect football Sunday in one of America's great cities, Chicago. The Bears have won the toss and will receive the football. 61,500 jammed inside legendary Soldier Field. Jerry Azuma is back deep for the Chicago Bears. Fifth in the NFC, averaging 24.7 yards per return. Colts and Bears, and we're underway from the Windy City. Here's Azuma from the 10-yard line. Jerry Azuma with the seam, and he gets up to the 31. A 22-yard return. Wayne Bacon makes the tackle. And he's their leading rusher. First down and 10 at the 32. Krentzel out of the backfield. And this ball is caught out of bounds. Thomas Jones out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. A 1-yard pickup on the last play. Second down and 9 for the Bears at the 33. Krentzel over the middle. That ball thrown behind his intended receiver, Bernard Berry, and the rookie out of Fresno State. And what should we pay attention to, BJ, when the Bears have the football?
Well, one of the most important things, Gus, today for the Bears, Krentzel is going to have to make some plays in the passing game. We know the Bears want to chew clock and control it, but they've got to make some plays downfield. For the Colts, they've got to stop that interior run game. You're going to see Thomas Jones, you're going to see Anthony Thomas, and that's one of the strengths of the Bears, running the ball.
Third down and 9 at the 33-yard line. Thomas Jones remains in the backfield. Krentzel stepping up, fires to Jones out of the backfield. And Jones, making people miss, gets to the 40-yard line. A 7-yard gain, but he's short of the first down. Joseph Jefferson makes the tackle. So the Bears go 3 and out.
Boy, and it's interesting, Gus, we saw 3 straight dropbacks, no play action, which really is going to be your greatest opportunity to get some of the safeties for the Indianapolis Colts cheating, because they're thinking run first, but 3 straight dropback plays. And you see them get the ball to Thomas Jones a couple times. I think him getting the ball in the pass game could be a key to the game today as well.
Brad Maynard stands at his own 26. Jason David back deep. Here's David signaling for the fair catch. Now he clears. Ball is touched. And down inside the 20. Manning starting out of the shotgun. Bears showing blitz. They fake the handoff, and this one thrown up in the air. Marcus Pollard, and Pollard is dropped at the 32. In the middle, in place of it. Second and 5 at the 32. Edgerrin James tiptoeing through the hole, and the edge gets to the 40, and the Colts pick up a first down. First down and 10 at the 40-yard line for Indianapolis. Edgerrin James, the lone setback. Here's James over the right side with running room. James gets all the way to midfield. A nice block on the play by Jeff Saturday, picks up 10. Edgerrin James on the season. He's healthy once again, Brent, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, and is closing in on 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and guess one of the interesting things that Lovie Smith and the Bears told us is they're going to try to stop the pass first. That's how you can get gashed against this Colts offense, and so we've seen James pick up some decent yardage the first couple plays of the game.
This is the 201st carry of the season for Edgerrin James, and he picks up about 6.5. And when the Colts have the football, Brent, what should we pay attention to?
Well, I think one of the keys when you're rolling and you're just making plays all over the place, the keys for the Colts today, they can't have any penalties or any turnovers, and nothing's been able to stop them, not even kryptonite at this point. And you see Chicago, they've got to stop the run. No, wait a second, you got to stop the pass. I'd force the Colts to run the ball, see if they're patient enough to keep Edgerrin James getting the ball 30, 35 times today.
Here's Edgerrin James. He gets inside the 40-yard line, down to the 38, a 5-yard pickup. Hunter Hillenmeyer makes the tackle.
And when was the last time you saw the Colts run the ball that many times in a row? And the Bears defense clearly is focusing with that 2-deep coverage on stopping the pass first, and they're going to make the Colts be patient, chew clock, and hand the ball to Edgerrin James.
First down and 10 at the 39. Play action. Manning over the middle. Reggie Wayne with the catch, dives forward, gets inside the 25. Lance Briggs with the tackle, but it's a 14-yard pickup. And the Colts are wasting no time getting down the field.
And what an amazing transformation. Reggie Wayne has become a top-line receiver in the National Football League and had a big year last year, but is having a phenomenal year this year. And he is a #1 receiver. It's not just Marvin Harrison anymore. It's Marvin and Reggie.
First down and 10 at the 25. James around the right side, stays in bounds, stood up and taken down at the 23. R.W. McQuarters, the cornerback, stepping up and making the play.
Boy, and the first run stuff by the Bears, and clearly Gus missing Brian Urlacher today, out with that leg injury, and clearly the emotional leader of this Bears defense. We're going to need more stops from the Bears defense like that versus the run. This defensive line has done a phenomenal job getting to the quarterback this year. They're going to have to tighten up versus the run, though, if they're going to continue today.
Second and 6 at the 21. Manning out of the shotgun. The #1 passing offense in the NFL. Over the middle, and it's broken up. Manning trying to thread the needle. And standing on the play, Todd Johnson, the second-year man out of Florida. He threw that one in maybe quadruple coverage.
And Gus, one of the things that you're going to have to watch versus this two-deep coverage is you got to watch the safeties. Do they stay true? And you see the impact right there by the Bears safety, Todd Johnson, and you called it, partner. That is exactly what they have to do. They have to stay tight. They can't give up that seam, whether it's to Marvin Harrison or Brandon Stokely. Usually Brandon Stokely is the guy that gets lost in the shuffle.
Third down and 6 at the 21. Fans rise to their feet here at Soldier Field. Big play for the Chicago defense. Manning looking underneath. It's caught. Brandon Stokely picks up the first down inside the 15, and we should definitely keep an eye on Brandon Stokely.
Well, everybody knows about Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. Brandon Stokely, though, Gus, like we mentioned, is a guy that gets lost in the shuffle. Has the ability to make the big play, a precise route runner, very quick. He can get down the middle of the seam against that two-deep coverage. That's where he's most dangerous, having a huge year for the Colts this year.
The Colts have 34 red zone trips, 26 touchdowns. Here's Manning underneath. Touchdown, Marcus Pollard. Make it 27 touchdowns, 14-yard touchdown, Manning to Pollard. And just like that, the Colts are on the board.
And you know what? Just like that is right. And what can you do? It's so tough to cover everybody. And we talked at the top of the show about the septuplets. There's 7 guys that can get you. Here comes Marcus Pollard. You see the play action. Linebackers step up. You have to be disciplined. You cannot bite on that run fake. A lot of balls to Edgerrin James early. The linebackers step up, create that seam. Marcus Pollard right down the middle.
So that is the 199th career touchdown pass for Peyton Manning. His 32nd touchdown pass this season. Now he's only 16 away from breaking our Dan Marino's single season record of 48 back in '84. Danny, you better be nervous. Marcus Pollard picks up his 6th receiving touchdown of the season. Peyton Manning has now thrown 32 touchdowns, and the Colts are on the board. 7-0, 9:05 to go here in the first.
Saw Marcus Pollard before the game, and I just said, hey, what does it look like, big man? He just gave me that wink. That means, you know, he's going to be involved in the red zone. Big touchdown catch already.
Jerry Azuma back deep, starts from the 5. Azuma with the head of steam, and Jerry is tackled at the 30. The 23 make it. Bob Sanders on special teams after an 18-yard return. So Marcus Pollard managing to find the end zone and jamming it down with the right hand. Welcome back to Chicago. 7-0 Indianapolis leading the Bears. Bears start first down and 10 at their own 23. Bobby Wade in motion. Here's the pitch. Thomas Jones over the right side, cuts it back with the lane, and he gets to the 26-yard line. A pickup of 3. Josh Williams with the tackle.
And Gus, let's go back to the play action and on touchdown and watch the linebackers for the Chicago Bears. They cheat up inside off that play action. They are responsible for Marcus Pollard down the seam against that 2-deep coverage. You've got to be disciplined. You see the move inside, just 2 steps, and it's all over. Marcus Pollard, free release, right down the middle. Peyton Manning, that's just a layup for him when he sees the linebackers react like that.
That's the 5th touchdown on their opening drive this season. Colts jumping offside. Flag on the play. Ron Winter is your
defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Your referee today, Tony Dungy. What a classy man. And his team is definitely having all kinds of success this season in his 3rd year. And Lovie Smith, who used to be one of his coaches in Tampa in his 1st year here in Chicago, and he's got this team playing excellent football, especially on the defensive side. 2nd down and 2 at the 31. Here's Thomas Jones following his block. Gets down maybe a half-yard short of the 1st down. Bob Sanders, the rookie safety out of Iowa, coming up and making the play.
Gus, and it's so important for this Bears offense to move the chains. They've got to convert, especially on 3rd downs. 23% on 3rd down conversions coming into this game. That is as bad as it gets in the National Football League. So important. Got to keep that clock rolling. Got to keep the Colts offense off the field.
In the last 3 games, the Bears are 7 of 47 on 3rd down conversions, 15%. And I don't think they got that one. Krentzel on the quarterback sneak. We'll see.
At least it looks like from here they didn't necessarily give Craig Krentzel a great mark. And nothing against having your quarterback sneak it. But when you get a Thomas Jones or an Anthony Thomas, boy, those guys get a full head of steam, have some more leverage. We've obviously got pretty decent field conditions today, but it rained the last couple of days, and you want a little bit of a standing start. And I don't think with that mark that the Bears are going to end up getting the 1st down. And you know what? You might want to, you can challenge, Gus, the marking of a football.
So they're short. And the Bears will have to punt it away.
And you see it's right there on the 33-yard line. And I thought Krentzel had some pretty good push there. Well, I don't know if I was in. It's just tough to tell from that angle. So, and those are the things, Gus, that have haunted the Chicago Bears offense this year. And, 2nd and 2 shots. Clearly, like I said, nothing against Krentzel, but I'd give it to my running backs at that point.
So Brad Maynard comes in to punt. He's standing at the 19-yard line. Jason David back deep at the 25. Maynard, high spiraling punt toward the sideline. And he fields it. David gets out of bounds, and here comes Peyton Manning again. After the 46-yard punt, the 8-yard return. 7-0 Colts. Colts on top of the Bears, 7-0 here in the 1st quarter as Peyton Manning approaches the line of scrimmage. Manning has 5 career 5-touchdown games, 3 of them coming this season. Dan Marino has the NFL record with 6 in his career. 1st down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Grindy. Edgerrin James breaks it back with running room, and Edgerrin James gets to the 35. Tommy Harris makes the tackle, but the Edge picks up 5.
And guys, we've seen the Edge continue to run the ball here early in the game, and I think that's a positive sign for the Indy offense. And then once that happens, all of a sudden people start cheating up for the run, and you can get gashed with the pass. And that's what the Colts have been doing all year. And I'm telling you, Tom Moore is the most underrated offensive coordinator in all of football. Without a doubt, flies under the radar. Not a big PR guy. He's been phenomenal.
Manning underneath, but no! Lance Briggs. Oh, and that's one that will haunt Lance Briggs
And Gus, you rarely see Peyton Manning just step back and make this throw, and that's exactly what the Bears have done this year. That is a touchdown all the way down the field. Lance Briggs in his hands, and that has been the opportunistic Chicago Bears, and man, you would love to have that one back, because you're not going to get a whole lot of those chances when you're playing Peyton Manning.
That was certainly 6. 3rd and 5. Manning out of the gun. Manning to the sideline. Incomplete. Bears getting a good pass rush. Let's take one more look at Lance Briggs' almost.
And you can see there's nobody out here. And there is a touchdown. Lance Briggs maybe looking at that end line before looking that ball in. And this guy has made big plays this year for this Bears defense. Had 14 tackles last week. Really stepping up big, especially without Brian Urlacher in the lineup now.
R.W. McQuarters had a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown last week against Tennessee.
Boy, now, Gus, this is going to be an interesting situation on who this penalty is going against. A little bit of a hard count. Now, if the Bears jumped off, it's 4th and 5. I don't know if those 5 yards would give the Colts the first down, but the little things, you cannot make mistakes in the little areas.
Offense number 48. 5-yard penalty.
So we'll go against Indianapolis. Justin Snow, the long snapper, called for the false start.
And you know what? That's a little bit of the old head bob thing. You try to get the defense to jump off. The officials right on top of that, not going for it, but Bears a little bit of a break there.
Hunter Smith at the 15. R.W. McQuarters back at the 22. Signals for the fair catch, and it's fair caught at the 27. A 43-yard punt. Lance Briggs had all the opportunity in the world, unable to come up with it, but there's a lot of time left. Welcome back. Lovie Smith has this Chicago Bears team making plays. They've won 3 in a row, a game out of first place. Green Bay at Houston tonight. Minnesota is taking on Detroit as we speak. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they are in a great position in their division. First down and 10 at the 27. Krentzel stepping up in the pocket to the sideline. And that is a catch. David Terrell with his 24th catch on the year, a gain of 11. So let's take a look at the AFC South. Indianapolis and Jacksonville are currently tied. Jacksonville at home today against Tennessee.
When we just saw David Terrell, Gus, go up and make that last grab, drop 3 balls last week. Those are the plays that you need from your big wide receiver if they're going to have a chance today.
Jones with all kinds of running room gets to the 45, a 6-yard pickup. Tackled by Drees Bashir. And now the Bears starting to find a little success moving the football. Greg Krentzel kind of reminds me of Jake Delhomme from last year.
Yeah, he clearly, right now, he's been managing the offense. And as you saw last year, as Jake Delhomme got more experience, they gave him more opportunities to play in the passing game. Craig Krentzel looking pretty confident right now.
Here's the pitch to Jones over the right side with running room. Jones breaks it back. Jones at the 40. A 15-yard pickup for Thomas Jones. Joseph Jefferson makes the tackle, but it's a first down for Chicago.
And just a quick toss. Let's watch the right tackle. Big John Tate come out, seals off, just follow him, gets the block right there, and you see Thomas Jones sees it, cuts back inside. Thomas Jones, Gus, looking good. Coming off that turf toe injury, it's looking explosive. I've been watching him in warm-ups, watching him out on the field, making those hard plants, and loves to cut that ball back.
4 carries, 25 yards for Jones, 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Jones on the pitch, free play for the Bears. And Jones gets to the 38-yard line before being chopped down by Bob Sanders. Should be offside against Indianapolis.
And that's the second time Craig Krentzel today has worked offside. That hard count.
Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
What about Krentzel?
Well, he's a guy, Gus, that we're going to have to keep an eye on today. And it's not just managing the game. He's going to have to make some plays in the pass game. We saw him make that big throw here a few minutes ago to David Terrell. Those are the things that's going to have to happen for this young quarterback. A lot off of play action, but he played at Ohio State, won a national championship. Clearly, he's been in pressure situations before. Coach Lovie Smith told us he had by far his best week of practice, so he's looking for a big game from Krentzel today.
Krentzel setting up in the pocket, going up top. Terrell is there, and it's picked off in the end zone. Make it knocked down. Sanders had two hands on it, and Terrell was the intended receiver.
And Bob Sanders always near the ball. Now Krentzel throws it up. David Terrell stays outside. He's got to come adjust back to that ball. But you see the effort by David Terrell breaking up the play. You know, you got to give a guy credit like that. A lot of wide receivers just give up, put a hand out. David Terrell putting a lick on Bob Sanders, knocked the ball out.
2nd down and 5. Thomas Jones looking, and he picks up 2.5. Gets to the 32. Wayne Bacon coming up with the tackle.
And Gus, these are such important situations for the Chicago Bears offense. 3rd and 2. That is a makeable 3rd down. You've got to convert. Now, whether it's toss or whether it's play action, you have an opportunity. And this is the situations that the Bears want their young quarterback to be in. You don't want to be in 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 10. These are makeable 3rd downs.
They're 7 for their last 49 on 3rd down conversions, 14%. 3rd down and 2. Jones bottled up and taken down at the 35. David Thornton making the tackle. It's a loss of 2.
Boy, and great rush defense. And you saw the collapse of that right side of the Bears offense. Let's watch Thornton. A lot of penetration in here, and I think Thornton coming through and stepping up right there and just bottling up this Bears offense. And we continue to see the Bears struggle on 3rd down, and now they're going to be attempting a 52-yard field goal. Now this is dangerous from the standpoint of if you don't make it, you give the Colts offense unbelievable field position.
Paul Ettinger, his career-long 54 against Denver last year. Down, up, looks straight enough, and it's long enough. A good confidence builder for the Bears. 7-3. 7 plays covering 39 yards. Found a lot of success running the football as they ate up 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
Boy, and gutsy call to even kick that field goal, Gus, because you give the Colts the ball at the 42-yard line. If you miss it and you do make it, you get a lot of momentum out of it.
This one coming right into your living room. Dominic Rhodes to the 30, fumble, loose. Check. And it looks like Indianapolis will hold on, will they? The officials haven't signaled yet. The Colts offense is on the field.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, we've been talking a lot about the Bears defense, but they've been phenomenal on special teams as well.
Return. The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds. By rule, the ball is brought back to the spot of the fumble. It belongs to the fumbling team. 1st down, Indianapolis.
And Gus, another missed opportunity for the Bears. Ball on the ground, you got to fall on it. We talked about their special teams being phenomenal this year. They got 2 phases of the game. There it is. Dive on it. Don't try to pick it up. Get on the ball.
Adrian Peterson forcing the fumble. 1st and 10 at the 29. Manning looking downfield. Reggie Wayne on the comeback, out of bounds. 1st down. Reggie Wayne in front of Jerry Azuma. A gain of 14.
Boy, and you talk about timing routes. And we were talking to Peyton. He said this is truly a timing offense. And just playing all those years in the 49er system, Gus, it is so hard to complete those comebacks and throw it when the receiver hasn't even come out of his break. Reggie Wayne running a phenomenal route, but Peyton Manning just putting it right on the money.
1st and 10 at the 43. They handed off Edgerrin James, and he stood up and taken down in the hole. Lance Briggs, only a 2-yard pickup. 2nd down and 8 at the 45. Here's James. And Edgerrin James bounces it outside and is ridden out of bounds at the 48. R.W. McQuarters gets to him first. And Brett, how good has this Indianapolis offense been this year?
Well, I think when they're doing things right, they're unstoppable, Gus. And one of the things that people don't talk a whole lot about is their offensive line. They have given Peyton Manning an unbelievable amount of time. They've got the play-action game. They've got Edgerrin James. We talked at the top of the show. They have 7 playmakers on this offense. That is just way too many to even account for any team in the National Football League, for any defense. And so when things are coming together for them, they are, quite honestly, are almost impossible to stop.
3rd down and 5. And some movement on the offensive line, on the line of scrimmage, rather. Let's see. And Peyton Manning is signaling that it's going against Chicago.
When we're talking about the little things, the Bears, couple chances at turnovers, didn't capitalize. Big 3rd down play, needing to stop, and you jump off sides.
Defense number 91. A 5-yard penalty that results in a 1st down.
Tommy Harris.
And you see Tommy Harris jumping a little bit, Gus, but this guy has been a phenomenal addition to this Bears defense this year, really holding up the middle of the defense.
Timeout on the field. 7-3 Indianapolis. That's the end of the 1st quarter. Colts with the ball and the lead. Welcome back. 1st down and 10 at the 47. Start of the 2nd quarter. Indianapolis with the lead and the football. Peyton Manning, play action, looking downfield. And he throws this one over the middle, and it's broken up. Jerry Azuma right in the hip pocket of Brandon Stokely. Terrific job by Jerry Azuma.
And Lovie Smith said that Jerry Azuma is one of the most explosive players he's been around. Played some running back in college. Significant speed by Jerry. You see him get to that play and break it up. And one of the things you have to be aware of when you play the Colts, Gus, is a lot of times going with that no-huddle offense.
Here's the handoff to James. Breaks it back. Edgerrin tiptoeing down the sideline and picks up a 1st down. That's vintage. Edgerrin James, a gain of 12. All right, Greg, 1st down and 10 at the 35 now. The Bears are doing a sensational job of slowing down this Indianapolis offense. Manning, double move up top. Reggie Wayne with a step, touchdown.
Wow. Well, they slowed him up for a couple plays.
I spoke a little too soon.
Yes, you did. And one of the biggest differences has been Reggie Wayne. And like I said, he's a #1 receiver now in the National Football League, without a doubt. Spent a lot of time this offseason working with Peyton. And how about Peyton Manning? Gus, look at in stride on the shoulder pad. Don't even break stride. Put it right in my bread basket. Thank you. Another one. Here I come, Dan Marino.
35-yard touchdown. That is the 33rd touchdown pass this season for Manning. He's only 15 away from breaking Dan Marino's record. Extra point is up and good. Peyton Manning. Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne is having a Pro Bowl season. He scores his 8th receiving touchdown of the year, which leads the Colts, 1 in front of Marvin Harrison. And he's now becoming one of the lead players on this team. This kick is short, takes a bounce, picked up by Azuma. And Jerry Azuma crosses the 30, gets to the 34. Ball is loose after a 14-yard return. And I believe the Bears will hold on.
And Gus, nothing special. Watch Brandon Stokely in the slot. He's going to freeze the free safety man coverage. Everybody sees it. Reggie Wayne outside. Peyton Manning. He doesn't even double move. He just flat out goes right by Nathan Vasher. And Peyton Manning sees the safety cheating over to Brandon Stokely, and you cannot double everybody in this offense, and that's how the Colts have just been dominating in the pass game this year.
First down and 10 at the 34.
Who do you cover? And you've seen Marcus Pollard. Before the end of the game, we'll see Dallas Clark. The funny thing is we haven't even talked about Marvin Harrison yet.
Start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And let's take a look at Peyton Manning's numbers.
And I mean, you talk about his season already matching last year, and we thought he had a phenomenal year last year. And actually passed last year with that last one. And there Peyton is. He's sitting there studying cut-ups. He's studying some of the film, the pictures that come down from the press box, and looking at coverages and trying to figure out where he's going to go next time around.
First down and a long 15. Krentzel rolls out of the pocket, throws the ball underneath, and Thomas Jones makes the grab. Flag on the play. Larry Triplett stopping him after a 2-yard pickup.
And I think once you get out of the pocket like that, you're going to end up getting an illegal man downfield. You saw Craig Krentzel get a little movement, and one of his linemen might have been a little anxious, I think. Probably sneaking down the field.
The Nels were man downfield on the forward pass. Offense number 57. The 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Looks like that's the center, Krentzel, the 3-time Pro Bowler, making his 32nd start.
And Gus, if you're the Bears right now, you still have to stick with the run game. Stick with the run game, chew the clock. Now you're getting dangerously close to this game, getting a little bit out of control. But right now, stick with your strength. You're not at a point where you have to throw the ball yet.
That ball thrown underneath. Bobby Wade with the catch, fumbles the football, picked up by Indianapolis. Cato Jude. And the Colts force their first turnover of the game.
Boy, and Gus, one of the things that we just said is you want to stick with your strengths. And that's Thomas Jones running the ball. Bobby Wade, who was actually on the sideline a little bit ago, had a little shoulder problem. And you see him not able to hang on to that ball. And we have not given enough credit, Gus, to this Colts defense becoming much more opportunistic. And we've seen a lot of the Colts over the years, and I'm going to say, for right now, at this point in the season, I think it's the best Colts defense that I've seen in the last couple years. They've got a lot of young guys flying around making plays out there, and that's a positive sign for this club.
And usually Peyton Manning goes for the dagger right after turnovers. First and 10 at the 29. Manning down the seam, incomplete. And Dallas Clark, the intended receiver. First down and 10 at the 24 for Manning and the Colts after the Bobby Wade fumble. Edgerrin James. And James lowers his shoulder, gets inside the 20, down at the 19. Second and 5 at the 19.
And we know Greg is the greatest, so there's not even, we don't even have to, I mean, he's like Marvin Harrison. You don't even need to talk about him.
Edgerrin James again, and James goes down inside the 15. Lance Briggs with the tackle, and I thought Peyton Manning was so interesting yesterday when we spoke with him, because he told us that Edgerrin James is the best athlete that he's ever been around. And he's finally healthy, and he's running the ball well, and he's having a quiet, spectacular season.
Yes, he is. And some of the things that Edge brings to the game are things that you don't usually see. Just the fact that he's back in 100%, that play-action game is the difference with the Colts' success this year. Backers and safeties are respecting Edgerrin James at 100% much more than these last couple years when he was a little banged up.
11 carries, 65 yards for James. Pump fake. Over the middle, Dallas Clark, incomplete, no flag on the play. Clark looked like he was tripped inadvertently.
And that, you know, that was the key. It was inadvertent. I think legs got tangled up. And you see once again that two-deep coverage we talked about before long. You're going to see Dallas Clark. There he is getting off the line of scrimmage. Peyton Manning rolling back and seeing that seam. And you see Clark just getting his legs tangled up. And huge series, Gus, right now for this Bears defense. They've got to hold the Colts to a field goal because a touchdown would start putting it out of reach.
Second and 10 at the 14. James on the draw play, and James is taken down. Lance Briggs just having a sensational season. He's the #1 tackler on this team. Had 15 last week, a career high, a loss of 2.
And let's watch Lance Briggs get in there in the run blitz. You see him coming right through the hole. Bang! Reads run, gets right back in. Great job on the draw. The thing that makes you nervous is if Peyton Manning pulls that ball out and it's play action. But this is how you stop the Colts offense. Penetration and pressure on Manning and very physical outside. Easier said than done. Nobody's done it yet this year other than the Pats. Did very well.
3rd and 12 at the 16. Manning pump fake, looking in the end zone for Wayne. Incomplete, no flags. So the Chicago Bear defense holds. And here comes the field goal unit for the Colts.
And that was a huge stand by the Bears defense, keeping them in this game at this point. Even 17-3, you're still 2 touchdowns down. As a Chicago Bear fan, though, you've got to go back, and the team, they've got to go back to their strength, running the ball.
Mike Vanderjagt is the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He's made 43 of his last 46 attempts. This one from 34 yards away, and it's perfect. So Indianapolis takes a 17-3 lead here in the second quarter. Welcome back. Indianapolis gets a 34-yard field goal set up by a Cato June fumble recovery by Bobby Wade. And Indy leads it 17-3. So the Colts send it away. Jerry Azuma camps under it. He starts from the 8. Azuma trying to get outside and goes forward, tumbles forward and gets to the 26, an 18-yard return. Corey Bird with the tackle on special teams. Craig Krentzel, he's got to step up and make some plays. 17-3, Colts with the lead, Bears with the football. A lot of time remaining in the second quarter for this Chicago team. First down and 10 at the 26. They hand it off to Thomas Jones, running outside. Nowhere to go. He may have lost a yard on the play. Soldier Field. What a special place and one of the special cities in America. Chicago coming into this town the other day. Boy, I tell you, you just get that good feeling when you're here in Chicago, Illinois. 2nd and 11. Flag on the play. And Brent, I saw something interesting coming into the airport yesterday.
What's that?
When you go into the parking garage, each floor has a Chicago sports team theme. So at O'Hare Airport, the first floor is like the Chicago Cubs, and when you get off, they play Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Ball start. Offense number 57. 5-yard penalty.
I'll tell you, Gus, that's riveting.
Remains second down.
I haven't seen it before.
Okay.
And I've been all over the country.
You know what? I know that you love Chicago. You could be overselling it a little bit right now.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I do love it as well.
As a San Francisco guy.
I had a chance to eat at Joe's Stone Crab on Friday night. It was spectacular. I think I might go back before I go home.
2nd and 16 at the 20-yard line. As you take a look at the penalties, 5 for the Bears. Krentzel handing it off. Once again, it's Jones. And Jones, not a lot of room. Picks up 2. There are 2 undefeated rookie quarterbacks this season, and we're watching one of them play right now.
And clearly Craig Krentzel hopefully growing on a week-to-week basis. And you see the quarterback rating a little bit low. And one thing he's done well today, Gus, he's managed himself pretty well. Hasn't been involved specifically in turnovers. You know, and clearly we said he's going to have to make some plays in the pass game. But right now, on 3rd down, you're going to have to. But I still think more Thomas Jones and keep pounding at this Colts defense.
3rd down and 14. Krentzel under pressure, and he's sacked. Rager, first sack of the day for the Colts, and Chicago has to punt it away.
Boy, and you watch Monty Rager coming back when Craig Krentzel steps up in the pocket, number 90, doing a great job of sliding back in, and a heck of a tackle. And like you said before, we haven't given this Colts defense enough credit, and they're clearly a team on the rise. A lot of young players, a lot of quick players. Bill Polian, general manager for the Colts, has done a great job in the draft getting young, fast, aggressive ball players for his defense.
Bears send it away, and this is David from the 34. Finds the seam, flag on the play, gets up to the 45. A 48-yard punt and an 11-yard return. But there is a flag.
There are 2 flags on the play.
So the Bears last week defeating the Tennessee Titans in overtime 19-17. It was really their defense making things happen. Special teams as well. Sacking Billy Volek for the
There are 2
win.
fouls on the play. Holding during the kick on the receiving team. That penalty is declined. Holding number 91 of the receiving team. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards from the end of the kick and a first down.
So the Colts will start from about the 26-yard line, leading 17-3. All right, 17-3, Indianapolis on top of the Chicago Bears. First down and 10 now. At the 26 for the Colts. Edgerrin James, the single setback. Peyton Manning calling the play at the line of scrimmage. James down inside the 40-yard line. And that's the Edgerrin James of old, a gain of 35. Joe Odom stops him.
Boy, and now watch this spin move initially right here into the hole, and the acceleration after he spins. And he does this a couple times. Look at these moves. Now that is the difference between Edgerrin James 100% and Edgerrin James 85%. He could still make that spin move, but the acceleration out of the spin and to be able to keep getting downfield is the difference.
13 carries, 98 yards for the edge. First and 10. James again. Make that Rhodes. Dominic Rhodes in the game. Spelling Edgerrin James, number 33. And look at the first 5 games compared to the last 4. The Colts rushing this season.
Yeah, and you see no touchdowns the last 4 games. They've been lighting it up in the air. They haven't needed to run the ball in. One of the things Peyton Manning told us is in a lot of our drives this year, we haven't even had a lot of third downs. They've been converting on first or second down, moving the chains and getting big plays out of their wideouts.
Second down and 9 at the 38. Play action, Manning in the pocket, underneath. Oh, that one right off the face mask of Marvin Harrison. You don't see that often, so I would suspect he may have lost that one in the sun. There's a glare on the far side of the field.
And you know, the other thing, Gus, not only that is at this point in the game, Marvin Harrison hasn't gotten any balls. And so to have one just, I think it just kind of caught him off guard. He's not in the flow at this point. 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. And when was the last time you saw that?
Marvin Harrison has gone 132 consecutive games with at least 1 catch. Third down and 9 at the 38. Manning looking underneath, incomplete. So a nice defensive stand by the Bears as they force the Colts to punt it away.
When the Bears have had a couple of decent stands on the defense today, they just have to take advantage of some of the opportunities. And we saw Briggs almost have an interception for a touchdown. We saw a fumble on the kickoff that the Bears didn't recover. It's the little things. You cannot give this Colts team too many opportunities to keep the ball and to be able to keep hammering you, because sooner or later they're going to explode. Hunter Smith has 11 punts inside the 20 with only 2 touchbacks this season. R.W. McQuarters stands at the 10. End over end Aussie kick. McQuarters
Signals for the fair catch, and it's down at the 10. A 28-yard punt.
A couple people asked him if he wanted Peyton Manning to break his record. He said, no. Gotta love that. Gotta love honesty, huh?
Yeah, you certainly do. Jones running the football. As a matter of fact, you have a record that's getting ready to be broken probably this week in San Francisco.
I don't have. It's not a record. It's a team. And that stuff's cheesy.
Your team record of tight end receptions is going to be broken.
Nobody cares.
You do.
Even I don't care.
Okay. Manning on the sideline, continuing to study.
Yep. Getting those little shots down, looking at coverage from up top, seeing what's going on the field.
2nd and 8 at the 13. And the ball is fumbled. Looks like it's picked up by the Colts. Wow.
Boy, and you know what? I'm not sure if that was a play action fake or if the running back was supposed to take the handoff from Craig Krentzel. We talked about Craig thus far not turning it over, but that's a quarterback's mistake. You either got to get it in the pocket of your running back, and Thomas Jones looking frustrated, or if it's, you know what, he just didn't have it coming out. And, you know, at that point, you can't try to shove it into the running back's hands, and that's just one of those deals right off the exchange. And you know what? The ball slipped right out of his hands. Those are the things that you can't do. And now, more than ever, we've talked about this Bears defense needing a big stop. You cannot give it up a touchdown right here with six and a half minutes left in the first half.
First down and 10 at the 13. 2 turnovers for Chicago. Both fumbles. Bobby Wade and now Krentzel. Manning. Dallas Clark with the catch, and he's ridden out of bounds. Mike Green stops him. 15th reception of the season for Clark in his 2nd year out of Iowa. Take a look at this regular speed.
Wow. You hear the pads popping down there. Mike Green getting a nice shot on Dallas Clark.
2nd down and 7 at the 10. Manning out of the shotgun. Manning underneath, touchdown. Marvin Harrison, his 8th receiving touchdown of the year.
And I think you're going to see Marvin Harrison be running a man route, seeing a big hole in the zone, stopping, sitting right in the hole between the safety and the corner. Watch this area right out here. And there it is. We forgot to cover Marvin Harrison. Uh-oh. And you see him get off the line of scrimmage. Safety's got to come. There's some miscommunication there. There's no way.
And that is the 76th career touchdown from Manning to Harrison, 3rd most all time. Number 1, Steve Young to Jerry Rice, 85 touchdowns. Number 2, Dan Marino to Mark Clayton, 79 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, 3rd all time, 24-3. Peyton Manning throws his 34th touchdown pass of the season, his 3rd today. He's now 14 away from breaking Dan Marino's record of 48.
And guess one of the things you can't do when you're defending Peyton Manning, you cannot look him in the eyes, because he'll look you off and fake you out every time.
Jerry Azuma inside the 5. And Jerry Azuma goes down at the 25.
Now let's watch Peyton's eyes, and you're going to see after this what happens. See him looking to his left side of the field. Wait till you see what that does to Mike Green, the safety. Now we're going to know why Marvin Harrison is so wide open. Here's Mike Green. Watch his reaction. You see him slide inside 2 steps. Well, you can't give Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning those 2 steps. And that's why they are so flawless. It's the little things like Peyton looking off a safety. And if you're a safety, like I said, you cannot watch Peyton Manning's eyes.
Krentzel
in trouble.
Almost fumbled the ball again. Another sack. This time it's Dwight Freeney. 2nd sack of the day. Freeney now with 7 sacks on the season.
Boy, we've been talking about Dwight Freeney for a couple years. Explosive, spectacular speed coming off that defensive end position, 6'1". He's already got leverage. It's tough when you're trying to block him because he's already low. And he is an impact player for this Indianapolis Colts defense. They have another guy as well this year, Robert Mathis, that's actually kind of the Dwight Freeney of the other side of the defense.
Draw play, Thomas Jones. And Jones gets to the 20-yard line. Jim Nelson with the tackle, a gain of 5. And Peyton Manning's little brother Eli is getting his first start today in Chicago. And Peyton Manning, the son of Archie Manning, is chasing one of the all-time greats who we love at CBS, Dan Marino, looking to eclipse Marino's record of 48 touchdown passes in one season. He's got 34 now. And this is week 11. 3 touchdowns today. 3rd down 14 at the 20. Krentzel rolls out of the pocket, looking, throws on the run, and it's picked off. Wow.
Yeah, wow's a good adjective. And I think Jefferson was there right on the sideline, Joseph Jefferson, and I'm not sure who Craig Krentzel was throwing the ball to, but once he rolls out, you either got to get out of bounds or see your receiver. And you see the inexperience right there, Gus. Jefferson was standing right in front of his receiver, Bobby Wade. I mean, it looks like he's from that angle, it looks like it's going right to Jefferson. And we're really in danger of this thing getting out of hand right now. And as tough as the Bears defense has played, offense for the Bears have given the Colts a couple short fields.
1st down and 10 at the 33. Edgerrin James. And James gets inside the 30-yard line. James over 100 yards rushing in the first half. 14 carries, 101. Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Harrison is down at the 21. Tackle on the play.
And you know, Gus, you can't say that the Bears didn't have their chance early. We talked about them trying to keep this game close early. We talked about the interception, the fumble that they didn't pick up, the dropped interception, I should say, that would have been a touchdown. You just can't give the Colts that many chances. Way too many weapons. And they are relentless on offense. They'll just keep coming after you. And this Bears defense, as good as they've been this year, we're starting to get a little tired. They've been on the field an awful long time this first half.
Manning again, this time underneath Reggie Wayne, and Wayne is stopped at the 16. Lance Briggs stops him. And it's always interesting to watch Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage.
And all the hand signals and all the audibles that he calls, and a lot of times he changes the play, and Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, lets Peyton actually call more plays than any quarterback that we've seen for probably the last 15 or 20 years.
Manning out of the shotgun, rolls out of the pocket. He's got running room, and Manning picks up the 1st down. A gain of 6.
Yeah, just such a bright player. Always heady, knows where the 1st down is, and you know that's a little bit of a cliche, but to get there, get out of bounds, not get hit, and it's just, there's just way too many weapons. And this guy is unbelievable. And he told us how he spent a ton of time this offseason with Reggie Wayne, and you can really see how much that's paid off here during the season. And Brandon Stokely as well. And of course, he and Marvin Harrison already had that unspoken language on the field, and Reggie told us, hey, one of the things that I've been looking for since I got here was to be able to have that unspoken capability with Peyton as well.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. Welcome back. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Indianapolis with the 24-3 lead and the ball at the Chicago 11. 1st down and 10. Manning. And this one incomplete. Marcus Pollard, the intended receiver. 2nd down and 10 for Manning and company. Here's the quick handoff. Edgerrin James skipping. And James gets inside the 5, down to the 2.
Boy, and you just got to think right now that this Bears defense really misses Brian Urlacher. I mean, that's it. He is their emotional leader. Uh-oh, little on the ball, little fake fake action here with the Colts.
Colts quickly to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down. And a long one. And Indianapolis calls a timeout. I don't know what all that was. 24-3. You can't say enough about Tony Dungy and what he's done with his team, but also how great of a man Tony Dungy is. Such a classy individual. And some classy coaches have been on the sidelines with him. Lovie Smith in Tampa, Herm Edwards as well, the head coach of the New York Jets. The Colts looking for a rushing touchdown, their last one week 5 against Oakland. Edgerrin James, 5 rushing touchdowns this season on 3rd down and short. Here's Manning in the end zone, incomplete. Reggie Wayne dropped a touchdown.
Boy, and that tough grab, but you don't see Reggie Wayne drop those, especially in the end zone. Peyton Manning, little fake play action spin out, comes right to him, little blind toss. You see him getting right back focused on his receiver. Man, and you know what? This Colts team wants everyone. Peyton Manning. And there's one for Dan Marino.
So that brings on Vanderjagt, good from 34. This one is from 20 yards away. A chip shot, up and good. 59 seconds remaining in the first half. Indianapolis up 27-3. Colts send it away. Jerry Azuma back deep. And he starts from the 10. Azuma up to the 29. 20-yard return. Sapp with the tackle on special teams. First 7 possessions for Chicago.
And right now, even the punts are looking pretty good. You saw the 1 field goal, but a couple of fumbles in the INT. And you just can't lose the turnover battle against the Indianapolis Colts. And like we said, the Bears had chances early. Now, it's only halftime. I'm not going to say the game's over, but you're going to clearly have to start relying now on the pass in the second half and Craig Krentzel, the rookie quarterback. And that is going to be a huge task to move this ball down the field.
Krentzel with time to throw over the middle. Jones with the catch, gets to the 36. 7-yard gain. Von Hutchins with the tackle as Chicago gets to the line of scrimmage. Krentzel out of the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket. Incomplete. Let's take a look at the headlines for the Bears. Grossman out for the year with the knee, and John Quinn was pulled. R.W. McQuarters in the defense stepping up. And then their leader on defense, Brian Urlacher, going out. Had surgery this week. Urlacher spent Monday night at Northwestern Memorial Hospital after undergoing surgery in the morning. And Krentzel on the move, slides down. Brian Urlacher suffered internal bleeding in the lower left calf area, and he may be back around December 12th when they take on Jacksonville. That's the earliest he could come back, as timeout called by the Bears. Urlacher kicked in the calf last week against Tennessee.
Really didn't know it was that serious, but that night went home and things swelled up like a grapefruit. Called the trainer in the middle of the night, and they rushed him over to the hospital and had to have that surgery. And what a scary thing to have. But glad that Brian seems to be doing okay, and he's going to be back here before too long. And clearly the inspirational leader of this Bears defense, not to say the all-pro capabilities that he has out there on the field.
First down and 10 at the 41. Time winding down here in the first half. Krentzel to the sideline, incomplete. Ball intended for Bobby Wade. So 13 seconds remaining.
And Gus, you know, at this point, you'd love to at least get into field goal position. Probably got to get down about the 35. You know, maybe 37, but you want to run that out route. You want to use the sideline. You got a couple timeouts left. You also could use the middle of the field. Go ahead and take that shot, that big open zone against the two deep coverage.
Krentzel under pressure, throws on the run. That ball caught. Desmond Clark is tight end with the reception. Gain of 14 makes his 11th catch on the season, and the Bears call a timeout. Edgerrin James on the bench, 100 yards rushing in the first half, 15 carries for 110 to be exact.
And you know, expect to see those moves when you see Edgerrin James on the turf, and the quick cuts and the bouncing and the spinning and all those things. And here on the grass, he's been just as explosive today, and one heck of a half for the edge. And that's when those things, when the edge is clicking, this whole offense is going to roll, because you already know Peyton Manning is on top of the game, and you got the wideouts, the tight ends, everybody. The list goes on and on.
Manning's numbers: 116 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half, and the Bears have shot themselves in the foot a couple of times with turnovers and missed opportunities. 3 turnovers in the first half for Chicago. Lance Briggs had a surefire interception for a touchdown, just couldn't hold on to the football. 1st and 10 at the Indy 45. And this will be a false start against the Bears.
I think it might have been Terrell. And the receivers can't be the ones false starting. You're looking at the ball, not listening to the snap count. It's got to be disciplined.
False start. Illegal snap, number 57 in offense.
No, they actually call him the center. So maybe it wasn't the outside guys. And Gus, at this point, you know, might as well take a shot for the end zone. No use playing for 3. 50-yard line. Craig Krentzel's arm strong enough to get it into the end zone. Throw it up there and see if one of your big receivers can come down with it. And I think that's exactly what the Bears are going to do. They've got 3 wideouts down here at the bottom of the screen.
Krentzel out of the shotgun. Under pressure, fires. And it's caught inside the 10.
But I don't think there's any time left, unfortunately. But one heck of a grab.
And you're right, partner. That is the end of the first half. A 43-yard completion, but not enough. Indianapolis heads into the locker room with a 27-3 lead at the half. 3 touchdowns in the first half for Peyton Manning. We'll be back with the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the National Football League on CBS. The Colts are all over the Bears, 27-3. Here at halftime, Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones, and I tell you, Peyton Manning and company, spectacular team, spectacular offense. But the Bears have had opportunities, but they've had a number of miscues.
They have, and you know, they had some chances, and Peyton Manning and the Colts have done this to a lot of teams. And when you get those few chances like this one, Briggs having a touchdown, fumble on the kickoff, you got to fall on the ball, you can't try to pick it up. Little things, then your receivers are fumbling the ball. The Colts defense is much improved as well. Just a classic handoff, then a errant pass, and all those add up to a lot of opportunities for the Indianapolis Colts. And when they have opportunities, that offense right now is pretty much unstoppable.
So Indianapolis with the big lead here at halftime. What do you do if you're Chicago to get back into this game? Is it even possible?
Well, one of the things, you got to get some more pressure on Peyton Manning defensively. And we've talked about this Bears team. Really, the strength of their team has been their defense this year, but you haven't seen a lot of pressure on Peyton, and that's because of the play action. You're going to have that front 4 group and those linebackers stop Edgerrin James running the ball, and then you just got to pray for a little bit of a miracle on the offensive side. Craig Krentzel hasn't had a ton of time when he's dropped back. You got to go take some more chances.
So let's take a look at the halftime stats, and we'll start with the Colts. 116 rushing yards, 116 passing yards, VJ.
Yeah, and you know what, Gus? Clearly not as many yards as they usually get. I mean, they can really light it up. Turnovers are significant, and you see the Bears only having 5 first downs. We talked about them having to chew clock and move the chains, and they just haven't been able to accomplish that thus far.
Rhodes running the football, and a flag on the play. 18-yard return for Dominic Rhodes.
Now down by Jason McKee. There is the flag on the play.
So Ron Winter trying to sort out the penalty.
There is no infraction on the play.
How about
First
that?
down.
All right, let's take a look at the fantasy notebook.
All right, let's go. Let's see what we got going today in terms of fantasy. Clearly things are looking good for the Colts. Peyton Manning 10 of 20, not necessarily the high completion percentage you expect. 3 touchdowns. Edgerrin James 15 rushes, 110 yards thus far, still no rushing touchdown. Reggie Wayne's got a touch. Marvin Harrison for the Bears. David Terrell 2 catches, 55 yards. See Thomas Jones out of the backfield, has 3 catches, 16 yards.
First down and 10 at the 29. And here's Edgerrin James running the ball, and Edgerrin gets to the 31. Hard tackle on the play, a 2-yard pickup by Hillenmeyer. Peyton Manning threw 3 touchdowns in the first half.
You know, Marcus Pollard gashing the Bears defense off a play action by Peyton Manning, and Reggie Wayne just running right down the middle of the field. And then Marvin Harrison sitting in that zone off Peyton Manning's great look away of the safety.
Manning underneath, Dallas Clark with the catch. He gets to the 39. So many weapons as Lance Briggs brings him down. So many weapons for Peyton Manning and the Colts. They're almost like you guys were when you played for San Francisco and Joe Montana was your quarterback.
Yeah, it was just one of those matters every game where who was going to go off and who was going to light up. Obviously, Jerry Rice, you know, was always going to be involved, but so many things, so many weapons. Out of the backfield, Edgerrin James, and clearly the unbelievable amount of tight ends and wide receivers that can really do some damage for this Colts offense.
And Peyton was very interesting when we talked to him yesterday. He said, you know, I'd love for everybody to have big games every week, but it's just impossible. Sometimes it's going to be Reggie. Sometimes it's going to be Brandon. Most of the time it's going to be Marvin Harrison. Marcus Pollard has been catching a number of touchdowns, 6 receiving touchdowns at the tight end position, but it's almost an embarrassment of riches for this
It really
Colts
is.
team.
And you know, one of the things I think that gets overlooked because they have so many high-profile playmakers is the play of this offensive line. Howard Mudd has these guys whipped into shape. As many times as the Colts pass the ball, they've only given up 6 sacks all year. That is an unbelievable statistic.
Third down and 1 yard is down at the 20. Edgerrin James over 100 yards rushing in the first half. He picked up 40 right there.
Well, in the short yardage play, I think a lot of the Bears are going to push inside, run blitz inside. They get washed down by the blocking of the Colts, and then it's just Edgerrin James one-on-one outside against R.W. McQuarters. And he doesn't just run out of bounds. You see that stiff arm and the spin. He gets an extra 10 yards after contact. And I'll tell you what, this Colts team is really starting to look like a Super Bowl team.
First down and 10 at the 22. Play action. Manning, Harrison with the catch inside the 10. He's down at the 8-yard line in front of McQuarters, a gain of 15. And you talked about Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach. Yes, he has certainly done a terrific job with this team.
And you know what, just one of those classic offensive line coaches, whips his guys into shape, protect 18. That's always the motto of these guys. And great group, great chemistry. They work together, both run and pass. And, you know, they don't get mentioned as enough amongst the top offensive lines in the National Football League, but they're clearly right there.
Bears showing blitz. And now Manning checks out of the play. Gets it off in time. Manning, pump fake, picked off. Nathan Vasher down the sideline. And Vasher gets to the 28. Nathan Vasher, the rookie out of Texas, with his 4th interception of the season. Had a 71-yard interception return for touchdown earlier this year against the 49ers. And the Bears force a turnover. A good sign as we start the second half. Welcome back, 1st and 10 for the Bears at the 28. And Chicago keeps the ball on the ground, picks up 2 yards on the play. Thomas Jones running the football. Cato June with the tackle.
I guess he's human. I guess. And Peyton Manning, of course, would love to have that last one back. You just rarely see him make a mistake. Flushed out of the pocket and just threw it outside to Reggie Wayne, and Vasher was there to step in front.
Only 7 interceptions on the season for Peyton Manning. Here's the handoff, Jones again. And Jones crosses and gets to the 33. The defense has always been great here in Chicago, but they're going to have to find a quarterback and settle on him, because there have been a number of quarterbacks to play since '98 here in Chicago.
Do you remember all those guys?
I didn't remember H. Burris. Moses Moreno I remember.
Nice. Well, and you know, I think that they had settled on Rex Grossman, and obviously injured and out for the season, and hopefully, and Craig Krentzel really potentially has a bright future ahead of him. It's just tough coming in as a rookie and running an offense in this National Football League.
Rex Grossman ruptured his ACL as Krentzel throws the incomplete pass. And Brent, they may have to get this young man out of this game.
Well, you know, Gus, at this point, it's not how the Bears offense is built, and the defense has battled and you know, taken a few of the licks today from the Colts offense, but clearly this is a team that relies on its strong defense, turnovers, and the run game, and it's not a come from behind type of offense yet, and that's why we said the Bears needed to keep it close here in the first half, and something that they weren't able to accomplish.
Maynard pops it in the air, and it goes out of bounds inside the 30. Craig Krentzel having a rough day. He's only a rookie. Welcome back, 27-3. Indianapolis with the football at the 29-yard line. Bears have been unable to get anything going offensively this afternoon. Peyton Manning, play fake, sets up a screen to Edgerrin James with all kinds of lanes in front of him. And James dives forward and gets to the 40. So Peyton Manning got a pretty great pedigree. His father, Archie, played at Ole Miss for the Saints. His brother, Eli, is making his first start today against the Atlanta Falcons at Giant Stadium, the first overall pick. And then there's Peyton in the middle.
Yeah, you talk about pedigree. A lot of passes thrown around those backyards.
Broken windows. First down and 10 at the 40. Here's Edgerrin James just shredding through the Chicago Bears defense to the inside the 40-yard line. Jerry Azuma brings him down. A 21-yard gain for Edgerrin James, and he's closing in on 200 yards rushing.
And guys, we've seen Edgerrin James gash the inside of the Bears defense all day, and clearly missing Brian Urlacher. It's just not the same Bear defense. And we've had young guys step up this year, and there's been some injuries, but without Urlacher in the middle, this Colts offensive line has opened up some big holes. And we've had a lot of Edgerrin James over the years, but this is as sharp as I've seen him in a long time.
First down and 10 at the 38. Manning, Reggie Wayne with the catch, and Reggie Wayne is tackled at the 26. Vasher with the tackle.
And guess
what? He picks up 12 yards.
And one of the things that you get here with the Colts, they clearly are a relentless offense. They aren't going to be one of those teams that's going to sit on their lead in the second half and just pound it into the middle of the line 3 times, then punt and try to chew up clock. They keep come after you.
So they're not going to give you a break.
Nope. They are going to keep throwing it, running it, mixing it up, play action, throwing deep. They are relentless.
Is that unsportsmanlike?
No. National Football League. Try to stop us.
First down and 10 at the 27. Bears having a hard time today. Here's Manning looking in the end zone for Wayne.
Wow.
Touchdown. Peyton Manning has now thrown 4 touchdowns in this game. His 35th touchdown pass this season, 13 away from breaking Dan Marino's record of 48.
And we were just talking about the relentlessness. And you see little pump fake left, comes back, moves the safety just enough to open up a window, putting it right on the money, back of the end zone. Reggie Wayne, heck of a route, getting inside, and then watch him looking into the sun, looking that ball in, getting both feet in before he heads out.
Extra point is good. Reggie Wayne, 6 catches, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peyton Manning has 4 touchdown tosses today, and it's gone from bad to worse for the Bears. Reggie Wayne, blocked on your left, has 9 receiving touchdowns this season. Peyton Manning has thrown 4 touchdowns in this game, and the Colts have a 34-3 lead. This time it's Berrien returning the football. The Colts have scored 27 straight points. 8:20 to play, third quarter. Back to Chicago after this. (34-3). Indianapolis with the lead over the Bears. Chicago with the football at the 46-yard line.
You know, the Bears defense can't feel bad.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 39 of the return team. That 15 yards is penalized from the end of the run. First down.
Anthony Floyd called for the penalty.
And like I was saying, the Bears defense can't feel bad. The Colts have done this to a lot of teams this year. And the Bears are going to still have some success this second half of the season and I still think have a chance to compete in their league.
First down and 10 at the 46. Play action, Krentzel. And that one almost picked off. Jason David.
His learning curve has been pretty significant. He's starting to really, seems to me, getting more of the flow of the offense.
Second down and 10 at the 46. Draw play, Jones gets outside and goes out of bounds at midfield. Hutchins knocking him out of bounds. That brings up third down and 6.
Yeah, you know what? Like we said, we've talked about a lot about the Bear defense today, Gus. But you know, this Colts defense is clearly improving. Raheem Brock and Monty Ragar up front, and Josh Williams. Of course, we talk about Freeney all the time, and Robert Mathis has a ton of sacks coming into the game today. And
8 to be exact.
Yep. Linebackers, Rob Morris and David Thornton doing a heck of a job. And we've seen some significant improvement in that secondary.
Krentzel over the middle, and it's caught. Berrien. First down, Chicago at the 33, an 18-yard gain.
Boy, nice toss by the rookie.
Krentzel on the day, 8 of 15, 105 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. 6 first downs for the Bears. First down and 10. Play action. Krentzel in trouble, and he's sacked. Rager, second sack of the day, third sack of the day for the Colts.
Boy, I don't know if anybody blocked Rager. He just comes unblocked, little arm over right there, right into the backfield, and Craig Krentzel can't do anything about that. Got to shore up that front, that offensive front for the Chicago Bears, and Craig Krentzel hadn't even set his feet yet, and Monty Rager had his arms around him.
So it's a loss of 6. Second down and 16 at the 39. Krentzel looks backside, sets up a screen to Wade. And Wade doesn't get too far is stopped at the 37-yard line by Robert Mathis. A gain of 2. Well, these two coaches certainly have a connection. Lovie Smith, a linebackers coach in Tampa under Tony Dungy, and Coach Dungy told us yesterday that he was talking to some of his personnel people while in Tampa, and he was looking for a coach that was a great teacher. And he looked at Lovie Smith at Ohio State at the time and realized that he was doing a great job with the linebackers. He had also done a great job in Tennessee, and he hired Lovie not knowing very much about him, but they spent 5 years together. Smith ending up in St. Louis as the defensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Chicago Bears, and doing a sensational job as the Bears have a hard time getting the playoff. But this is his first year, and the offense has to be worked on here in Chicago. Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
You like the kind of attitude and desire and emotion that this Bears team is playing with, but offensively against better teams, they are going to struggle. Terry Shea has been criticized for his offense. He's one of those West Coast offense guys. And Justin Gage, in his 2nd year from Missouri, a big play threat last year, has complained about not getting enough opportunities, the ball not being thrown down the field enough. 3rd down and 18. Here's Krentzel underneath to Jones, and he goes out of bounds on 3rd and 18. You pick up 6.
Yeah, and Gus, it really comes back to Craig Krentzel. He's a rookie. He's still trying to learn the National Football League. And, you know, the Ben Roethlisberger situation in Pittsburgh is a little bit of an anomaly. You're not going to have rookies come in and dominate. Craig Krentzel is more the norm for a rookie in this league. And you just can't all of a sudden expect your quarterback as a rookie coming off the bench during the season to run the offense. And that's why they thought Rex Grossman was the answer. They'd be throwing the ball a lot more downfield. And clearly right now on 4th down, they're going to be going for it. You have to. Never say die, but that's not the strength of this team right now. The strength is the young players on defense, and I'm sure they're going to shore up the offense this offseason.
4th down and 12 at the 35. Krentzel in trouble, has it smacked away, and the Colts recover again. Robert Mathis forcing the turnover, 4th turnover of the day.
Because Robert Mathis is amazing, and we talked to him. Every time he gets to a quarterback, it seems like he's stripping the ball. I had 3 last week. Watch number 98 coming from the outside, arm under move. He's going right for the ball. Watch his right arm. Bang! And he said he was taught that move in college. He said, hey, I'm going to strip and grab as well. But another big turnover and another big sack.
1st down and 10 for Indy at their own 46. Edgerrin James, who's gone over the 1,000-yard mark today, has 176 yards rushing. This is the 4th time that he's rushed for 1,000 yards in his career. His career high, 1,709 in 2000. Touchdowns aren't up, only 5, but they don't really need him to score because they have so many big weapons on the offensive side of the football. 2nd and 7. James cuts it back, breaks a tackle, and Edgerrin James is tackled from behind at the 47 by Lance Briggs. A gain of 4. So Peyton Manning, 4 touchdown passes today. He has 4 TD passes in 4 straight games. And that also ties an NFL record set by Dan Marino. I tell you what, our boy Dan, all of his records are going down this year.
Yeah, he's taking shots, isn't he?
His single season records, they are done.
You know he's probably got his headset on in the studio every weekend going, what's going on in the Colts game? A lot of Peyton Manning touchdown passes there, Big Dan.
3rd and 3 underneath. Clark with the 1st down. And he gets to the Chicago 39, gain of 8. And one of your former teammates is also in trouble. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. Best single season quarterback rating, Peyton Manning, 122.7.
Yeah, it's funny because I called Steve Young this week to talk about it because that's the all-time record. And you see Culpepper's over that too at this point. And he said, you know what? I actually thought that record was untouchable. He said that to have somebody to break it, they'd have to have such a phenomenal arm and a set of weapons and understand how important it is to not throw interceptions. And I said, well, you just described Peyton Manning. And he said, yeah, I guess you're right.
Your roommate with the 49ers. There's James skipping through the hole. Gets to the 30. 8-yard pickup. Edgerrin James with 189 yards rushing on 21 carries.
And guess we heard Dan at halftime say that Peyton Manning's been playing the quarterback position as well as anybody's ever played it. And you start thinking about this guy's rank in history. He's 28 years old. He seemed like he was 28 the day we met him his rookie year.
Certainly did.
But he's so mature. He's so gracious. It's such a unique perspective to see a superstar like that treat people the way that he does.
2nd down and 1. Edgerrin again. And you're absolutely right, partner. Peyton Manning, not to, as you said earlier, oversell it.
Yeah.
But Peyton Manning is such a classy young man and such a professional. He is truly one of the good guys to cover because he's always prepared. He's always sharp. And as media, he always gives you at least a little bit of what you need by being open and honest about the game plan. 1st and 10 at the 26. Here's Manning again to the sideline. Marvin Harrison with the grab, gets out of bounds at the 11. R.W. McQuarters throws him out of bounds after a gain of 16.
I'll tell you. And you know, we've been talking about Peyton Manning, Gus, and you know, he's going to go down as one of the greats to ever play this game. And you see Marvin Harrison run on the out route right here. If Peyton Manning can get a couple Super Bowl rings, he's going to have to clearly be considered one of the best to ever play, if not the best. By the time it's all said and done, the records that he'll have, the opportunities in the pass game, the yards, the touchdowns. And like I said, he just needs a couple of rings to probably get to that next level, and he wants it badly.
Meanwhile, Edgerrin James running hard, and James scores a touchdown.
There you go. You know what they call that?
What?
A Dan Marino happy moment.
First rushing touchdown of the day.
Holy cow. And of a lot of days for this Colts rushing game. And Edgerrin James said, hey, I'm going to have to go a little ways. So I'm going to keep those legs churning and get in the end zone. And we've said from early in the first half, this is as sharp as we've seen the edge. And you see him darting in and out and planting and doing great on grass. You expect that on turf, but he has been phenomenal today hanging on to that ball.
Edgerrin James is closing in on his career high, which is 219 yards at Seattle back in 2000. Right now, James with 23 carries for 204 yards and a touchdown. And that is his 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
Boy, and watch the quickness in the in and out of the breaks right here. In, little fake in, out, out. Well, look at that play, 5-yard line. Ran right over the Bears defender and ran over 3 at the end, those last 2 yards to get into the end zone.
Edgerrin James on the bench now, over 200 yards rushing. Got a touchdown as the Colts take a 41-3 lead.
When we talked to a lot of the Bears, they said that, you know, they were going to make the Colts beat them in the run game. And you know, I think today, not only did they do that, I think they beat him in the pass game as well. And a lot of success for this young Bears defense, but they are just going up against a juggernaut. And like we said earlier in the show, they had a few chances. You know, if you could have kept the crowd into it, the Briggs potential interception for a touchdown, it could have changed this whole day. But clearly at this point, it's gotten way out of reach.
Berrien down the sideline, and Berrien crosses the 40, gets close to the 45. First down and 10 at the 44. Draw play, and it's Thomas Jones running the football. He gets to midfield, a gain of 6. Brings up 2nd down and 4.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4, midfield.
Time running down in the third quarter as the Bears offense approaches the line of scrimmage. John Quinn was warming up on the sideline for Chicago, but they're going to continue to go with Krentzel. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score: Indianapolis 41, Chicago 3. Well, partner, rough day today for the Chicago Bears, but truly one of the great franchises in NFL history.
Yeah, and I still think the second half of the season we're going to still see a lot of positive things from this club. I really like what Lovie Smith has done. Jerry Angelo in the draft, they've got a lot of young players, aggressive, great speed, intense, and this is going to be a ball club to be reckoned with over the next couple years.
So the Bears pick up a first down, 5-yard gain by Thomas Jones. Fans, tell you what, for a blowout game, there aren't that many empty seats here at Soldier Field as we take a look at how well the draft picks have done this year, Brent.
Yeah, and we see Nathan Basher step up and have some big plays, and clearly Tommy Harris inside got to be considered for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And you have a lot of guys like that can play and make an impact for you.
Incomplete, ball out of bounds, flag on the play. Terrell is the intended receiver.
I think they might get Wayne Bacon for a little interference down there.
David Terrell.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. Penalized at the spot of the foul. And a first down.
33-yard penalty as Bacon is called for pass interference.
And you can't have contact after 5 yards. And let's watch Bacon. If that ball's in the air, it's going to be pass interference. You see, without him even turning around, the push right there just before the ball came down, just that hand-on-hand contact and the shove out pushed Terrell out of bounds. One of the big plays today for the Bears.
First down and goal at the 8. Let's see if Chicago can get this one into the end zone. Jones, and he'll lose 2 yards. Dropped at the 10. Raheem Brock, first man to him.
And you got to be impressed with, and I know the Bears offense hasn't been operating at a hugely efficient level this year, but you got to be impressed with the defensive front seven for the Indianapolis Colts this year. Much improved versus the run. And it was actually my preseason pick, the Indianapolis Colts, to go to the Super Bowl from the AFC. And so, you don't want to root. We're supposed to be objective, but my pick's looking good, partner.
Yeah. It's all about me.
That's exactly right.
There's no I in team or we either.
When it's 41-3, it's all about me.
As Leon says all the time, gain of 3.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You got to be impressed with both defenses, really. And let's watch the blocking out here. Boy, nice little crackback block. Outside.
As Jones gets back to the 7-yard line. The Indianapolis defense ranked 31st in the NFL, 19th against the run, 31st against the pass.
All that stuff's on yards, and we'll talk about that after this play, but I hate the way that they do the offensive and defensive rankings.
Here's Krentzel, steps up in the pocket, wants to run it, throws, and it's caught. Terrell, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's going to be holding.
Or was he past the line of scrimmage?
No, he wasn't yet at the time of the hold. And he was close. I thought he passed the line of scrimmage too prior to throwing the ball, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. But it doesn't matter anyway because it's holding. It's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Mark Colombo, who was recently activated on November 8th after sitting out with a knee injury, called for the penalty.
And you were talking about the Colts defense ranked 31st, but that's just about yards. And when you have an offense that is pouring it on teams, then all of a sudden the opposing team that you're playing is going to be lighten it up in yardage, and you just want to keep big plays in front of you. Teams are going to be throwing the ball, and so all of a sudden those yards start piling up. They got to find a better way of analyzing the top offenses and the top defenses in the league, because just yards is a horrible statistic.
Krentzel in the end zone, picked off. An interception. Mike Doss, 5th turnover of the day for the Chicago Bears. Peyton Manning's done for the day. 17 of 28, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So in the game now for the Colts comes Jim Sorgi, a rookie out of Wisconsin, has never taken a regular season snap. Peyton has taken every snap this season except 1. And he took almost every snap last year. Brock Heward threw 3 passes for the Colts last year, but Peyton was in the game.
Offense number 80. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And Peyton actually has taken every snap this year. He had 1 lateral to, of all people, his center Jeff Saturday against Jacksonville. So Peyton Manning out of the game for the first time this season. Rhodes running the ball with some success. He gets to the 21. A gain of 7. Odom with the tackle. So Dominic.
When a big block outside, and you don't want to say a big block at this point, but a nice block by Marvin Harrison, who's still in the game, and a guy that, you know, has had to share the spotlight a little bit this year, but still working hard. And when a wide receiver in the 4th quarter with the stature of Marvin Harrison is sticking his nose in the middle and getting a big block, that says a lot about that ball player.
Rhodes again, and Rhodes over the left side now gets to the 30. At least for right now, but I think Dan understands that before this year is over, Peyton Manning is going to either surpass him or get awfully close. Manning on the bench.
I'd say that's a good assessment. I think one of those things is going to happen. I think he's going to end up blowing it away.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think he ends up with 50.
Here's Rhodes. Flag on the play. After a 14-yard pickup.
Brought down by Johnson. There's a flag on the play.
During the run, illegal use of hands to the face. Number 96 defense. Penalized 5 yards from the end of the run. And a first down.
Alex Brown, first time we've called his name today, called for the penalty. Edgerrin James, though, what a day. 23 carries, 204 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, just moving all over the place. Stop and start. You see the wiggle, you see the shake, you see the spin. Aggressive, then he lowers his shoulder. Edgerrin James at the top of his game, going against one of the better defenses in the NFL, and getting into the end zone there, looking for that rushing touchdown. It's been a few games since the Colts have had one.
First down and 10 at the 49. Sorgi hands it off to Rhodes, and Rhodes with more running room. And we usually have an opportunity to talk to the star players before the game. In their hotels, the visiting team the night before the game, and the home team usually on that Friday. Edgerrin James, though, will not talk to the broadcasters because, and I understand where he's coming from, he says it's bad luck. He talked to a group of broadcasters early in his career. The next day he went out and fumbled. He did it later on that year. Once again he fumbled. He said, that's it, I'm done, never again. And he stood by that decision.
I don't blame him. I wish I didn't have to talk to you every weekend.
2nd and 4 at the 43. I love talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But our producer and director that asked all those questions.
Yeah.
That probably soured him, too.
Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
2nd down and 9 at the 48. Under 10 minutes to go. Here's Rhodes. Make that James Mungro in the game now to run the ball. Gains 5. Tony Dungy, so successful in Tampa, and slowly but surely you're starting to see, Brent, in the shadow of this great offense, the changes that are taking place on this defense and how Tony is getting his kind of player into the system to run his system.
Yeah, and you know what? Both Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy run the same style of defense, that Tampa too. And both of them talked about players having to buy in. And it's really interesting, and we'll get to it here in just a second.
Once again, Mungro running the ball. Everybody getting a little playing time now for the Colts. Todd Johnson stands them up. We'll talk about that Tampa 2 defense, which both the Bears and the Colts run.
Yeah, well, obviously the 2 part is the cover 2, and clearly you have to have some physical corners and safeties that are aggressive yet don't overcommit to the run. But the front 7, everybody's responsible for a gap. And one of the things that they teach you is you've got to win with leverage on the side that you're supposed to be on. So you've got to plug that gap. Well, one of the things that you're taught as a player, as a defensive player growing up is, hey, you're going to spin out, or you're going to, if you see the ball carrier going in the gap next to you, you're going to try to come across the face of the offensive lineman. You're going to try to make the play. That's how all these guys played. They were superstars at the different levels.
And this time it's Rhodes breaking it back. And he gets to the 18. Go ahead, finish your story, though.
Well, and one of the things that you're just not used to doing is trusting the fact that I'm going to be in my gap, and it's actually okay for the ball carrier to run by you on the other side in somebody else's gap. You've got to maintain your gap, though, because the minute you move out, the ball carrier can cut back, or guys can get sealed off from the offensive lineman, and all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose. And so Coach Smith, Coach Dungy, they talked to us about it. You've got to actually have trust in your teammates. You got to have faith in the system, and you got to buy in. When you have young players, it goes against the grain of everything that they're ever taught. But both of these teams are really starting to come along in that area on the defensive side of the ball.
First down and 10 at the 18. Jim Sorgi in the game for Peyton Manning. He's thrown 4 touchdowns. This time it's Rhodes, and Rhodes doesn't go very far, loses 2 on the play. Odom with the tackle. So the remaining schedule for the Indianapolis Colts, who will improve to 7-3. They're at Detroit next week on Thanksgiving, then home to play Tennessee, at Houston, Baltimore, which will be a big game, San Diego, Denver. Big games there.
You know, they're going to be primed for the playoff position because they are clearly ending up with 3 top teams, 3 playoff-looking teams at this point.
Second down and 12 at the 20. Mungro in the backfield. They give it to him, and Mungro hit immediately by Tank Johnson. How about the Chicago Bears and their remaining schedule? At Dallas on Thanksgiving, Minnesota, division opponent, at Jacksonville, Houston, Detroit, and Green Bay.
You know, they actually have a chance. The Bears, you know, those are a couple winnable games there. They could actually get on a little bit of a roll, and maybe, you know, maybe 9-7 ends up winning that division. You never know. The Vikings have been struggling as of late. Packers up and down. Bears finishing up with the Packers. You never know. They could still have a chance here down the stretch. Got to get some little bit more offensive flow going, that's for sure.
Rhodes running it outside. 5:34 to play in the 4th quarter. Jerry Azuma with the tackle. So Peyton Manning sits or stands on the sideline. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Should have had 5 touchdowns. Reggie Wayne dropped 1 in the end zone. But Reggie has 2 touchdowns on the day anyway. 4th down and 11. Tony Dungy showing some sportsmanship here, not kicking the field goal, electing to run the football. And the Colts will turn it over on downs. 4:52 to play. Back to Chicago after this.
Should have a celebrity.
I see enough of you twice a week. Pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. Desmond Clark, the intended receiver.
We could take on Nance and Sims and smoke them.
Craig Krentzel, a molecular genetics major at Ohio State. He's from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Played at Ohio State, now playing for the Bears. And he led Ohio State to a national championship, 5th round pick. Very bright young man, academic All-America. His older brother Brian right now in medical school at Louisville, played at Duke. And they run the football, Peterson again, but he is a rookie and taking on a very hot football team. But we were talking about the Bears, Brent, and their offensive scheme and how it's not Krentzel's fault. But do you think Terry Shea needs to make some adjustments to work towards some of their strengths? David Terrell, Justin Gage are guys that can get down the field, make some big plays. Do you want to maybe make some adjustments to see if you can get them the ball?
Well, you know what, Gus, coming in today's game, Bears have won 3 in a row, and they've been winning it on defense. And so I think Terry Shea's been smart in not taking too many chances offensively. Clearly today was a different game. You're going against the high-powered best offense in the National Football League. But it's tough because it's a little bit of chicken and egg, because, yeah, you'd like to utilize those receivers that you mentioned down the field, but your offensive line's been a little inconsistent pass blocking, and you've got a rookie quarterback that's still learning the NFL. I mean, it's just not that great of a situation. So your best opportunities to win games is have the defense keep you in the game, run the ball, and don't turn it over. And I think that's been the recipe for success, and I think Lovie Smith knows that as well. And so I know there's been some heat on Terry Shea, but at this point, you know, the Bears don't have a backup quarterback that can step in and really run this offense as far as the passing game is concerned.
That ball incomplete, intended for McKee. Terry Shea, former head coach at Rutgers University. A Bill Walsh disciple, was with him in Palo Alto at Stanford. Here's Peterson running the ball again, high stepping out of bounds. As he picks up 13.
You know, when we talked about the building blocks of this Bears team, it's still a very young team. They've done very well in the draft. They still have a lot to be excited about. And like we've mentioned, the Colts have made a lot of teams look bad this year. And so they just have to bounce back next week, come back and start playing with that confidence that they had during that last 3-game winning streak. And I'll tell you, they're going to win some games down the stretch.
Chicago passing underneath. Terrell with the very nice catch as he goes to the ground and scoops it up.
And Craig Krentzel actually had time to stand in the pocket and step into the throw on the deep over route to David Terrell, and actually looked nice. And so much importance to give your quarterback time, and see him sitting in there and throwing it into that open hole in the window, low where only your receiver can get it. Nice toss by the Rook.
As you take a look at the quarterback comparison, 2:20 to play. Handoff, Peterson, and he's wrestled down at the 35, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning. Lovie Smith, he wants to forget about this one as soon as it's over and get ready for next week. (41-3), Indianapolis with the lead. Peyton Manning resting up, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Marvin Harrison, his day is complete as well. 2nd and 9 for the Bears at the 35. And Chicago sets up a screen. Peterson catches it with blockers. Peterson inside the 20, breaking tackles, still running, and he goes out of bounds at the 5. Chicago has it at the 5-yard line.
Well, great effort by Adrian Peterson. Getting his blockers out in front of him, cutting back, running over people.
Picked up 30 yards. Stopped the clock at 150. Empty backfield. Krentzel rolling out. Better hurry. Flag on the play. And he's taken out of bounds at the 4.
I'll tell you, we might have illegal contact, Gus, because we've got that 5-yard chuck zone. We know that's the point of emphasis here. That flag was thrown, and I hadn't seen a whole lot going on. So it's either, I'd imagine, it's defensive holding.
Illegal contact. Defense number 38. Penalized half the distance to the goal and a first down.
It's George Sapp. So they'll move this one to the 2 with 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining. One bad area for the Colts today. 10 penalties, 92 yards. First down and goal at the 2. Play action. Krentzel rolling. He's got room. Throws. Touchdown. Lyman. Dustin Lyman with his first touchdown reception of the season.
And we've got to give some credit to Craig Krentzel. Nice play action fake. Gus, watch how long he sticks with it. Holds the ball out, tucks it. Clearly Lyman getting open. Had some linebackers sucking up for that play fake. Nice job by the rookie quarterback.
And the extra point is up and good. 1:37 to play in the 4th quarter. 41-10. He's not paying attention to the scoreboard. He's just enjoying the NFL here in Chicago. So the Bears send it away. Rhodes camps under it, starts from the 9. And Rhodes returns at 24 yards. 1:31 to play. Get that guy a cup of hot chocolate. Jim Sorgi at the line of scrimmage, and the Colts decide to take a knee, and they'll run out the clock with 1:24 and counting remaining. Edgerrin James over 200 yards rushing and a touchdown. Peyton Manning. You can't say enough about Peyton. 17 of 28, 211, 4 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Marvin Harrison as well. 4 catches, 49 yards. Receiver wise, it was Reggie Wayne, though, with 6 catches for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Indianapolis Colts continue to roll. When we were grown-ups tonight at 9/8 Central on CBS. Marcus Pollard with a touchdown today, first of the day, and that's it. Peyton Manning now will head into the locker room, get cleaned up, and prepare to watch his brother Eli as he makes his first start as the quarterback of the New York Football Giants, taking on Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons. For Brent Jones, this is Gus Johnson saying so long. 41-10, the final. You've been watching the National Football League on CBS Sports. All right. 41-10, the final. Peyton Manning with a huge day